The lights flickered again in the maintenance section of the starship, starbound. Dr. Maya Rodriguez sighed and checked her tablet for the third time that morning. Someone or something had been causing problems all over the ship for the past 2 weeks. Food containers went missing from storage rooms. Computer screens turned themselves off and on. Small tools disappeared from workbenches. The crew was getting angry, and tired Maya walked through the narrow hallway between the ship's main engines. Her boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. She was a scientist who studied alien life forms, but right now she felt more like a detective. Captain Jake Morrison had asked her to find out what was causing all the trouble on their ship. The Starbound was on a mission to explore new planets far from Earth. They had been traveling for 6 months without seeing any signs of life. Crew of 40 people was starting to feel lonely in the big empty space between stars. Maya often wondered if they would ever find anything interesting out here. A small crash came from somewhere ahead of her. Maya stopped walking and listened carefully. She heard a soft scratching sound, like claws on metal. Her heart started beating faster. After 2 weeks of strange happenings, she might finally find answers. Maya moved quietly toward the sound. The scratching got louder as she got closer to a junction where 3 hallways met. She saw a maintenance panel on the wall that was slightly open. The scratching was coming from inside the wall. She pulled out her flashlight and slowly opened the panel wider. Inside the dark space between the walls, she saw something moving. It was small and covered in what looked like silver fur that sparkled in her flashlight beam. The creature had 6 legs, a long tail, and a face that reminded her of a fox from Earth. But this was definitely not from Earth. The alien creature looked up at Maya with large, bright blue eyes. For a moment, they just stared at each other. Maya could see that the creature was about the size of a house cat, but it looked much more intelligent than any cat she had ever seen. Dark markings around its eyes made it look like it was wearing a mask. Then the creature tried to run away. Maya saw immediately that something was wrong. The alien was dragging one of its back legs, and she could see that the leg was bent in a way that looked very painful. The creature made small sounds of pain as it tried to escape deeper into the wall space. Maya's heart filled with concern. This small alien was hurt and scared. She forgot about all the trouble it had caused on the ship. All she could think about was helping the injured creature. She reached slowly into the wall space, speaking in a soft, gentle voice. "Hey there, little one. I'm not going to hurt you. Let me help you." The creature turned around and showed its teeth. It made angry chittering sounds and tried to bite Maya's hand. But it was too weak and hurt to fight very hard. Maya could see pain in its blue eyes, and she noticed that the creature was very thin. It looked like it had not eaten enough food. For a long time, Maya kept talking in her gentle voice while she carefully reached for the creature. "Ouch, that must hurt, you mischievous creature. It looks like you hurt your paws." Something strange happened when Maya spoke those words. The alien stopped trying to bite her and tilted its head to one side, as if it was listening very carefully. Its angry chittering became softer, more like questioning sounds. Maya moved very slowly and managed to get her hands around the creature's body. It was surprisingly warm, and she could feel its heart beating very fast. The creature did not try to bite her anymore, but it made small whimpering sounds that reminded Maya of a puppy in pain. She gently lifted the alien out of the wall space and sat down on the floor with it in her lap. The creature's injured leg was definitely broken. Maya could see swelling and bruising under its silver fur. But what worried her more was how thin the creature was. She could feel its ribs under her fingers. The alien looked up at Maya with its large blue eyes. There was still fear there, but also something else. Maybe hope. Maya had studied many different animals in her life, and she could usually tell what they were feeling. This creature was smart enough to understand that she wanted to help. Maya heard footsteps coming down the hallway. Heavy boots meant that Captain Morrison was coming, probably with Security Chief Lisa Harper. Maya hoped they would not scare the injured creature. "Rodriguez, what's your status down there?" Captain Morrison's voice echoed through the hallway. "I found our troublemaker, Captain," Maya called back. "But it's not what we expected." Captain Morrison and Lisa Harper came around the corner, both of them ready for a fight. The captain had his hand on his weapon, and Lisa was carrying a stun gun. But they both stopped walking when they saw Maya sitting on the floor with the small alien creature in her lap. "What in the world is that?" Lisa asked, staring at the creature. The alien made soft chittering sounds and pressed closer to Maya, as if it was trying to hide from the two newcomers. Maya put her arms protectively around the creature. "It's just a scared, hurt animal," Maya said. "Look at its leg. It's been trying to survive on our ship for weeks. It probably got lost somehow and ended up here." Captain Morrison stepped closer, but not too close. He could see that the creature was afraid of him. "Is it dangerous?" Maya looked down at the alien in her arms. It was looking back at her with trust in its blue eyes. "I don't think so. It's just been trying to find food and shelter." The sabotage was probably just desperation. Lisa Harper put away her stun gun. "So what do we do with it now?" Maya stood up carefully, still holding the injured creature. "First, I'm going to fix its broken leg. Then we need to figure out how it got on our ship and where it came from." The alien made a soft purring sound and nuzzled against Maya's shoulder. It seemed to understand that it was safe now. Maya smiled and gently stroked its silver fur. She had no idea that this moment would change everything for the crew of the Starbound, and maybe even for all of humanity. Maya carried the injured creature to the medical bay, while Captain Morrison and Lisa Harper followed behind her. The alien stayed very still in her arms, but she could feel it watching everything with those bright blue eyes. Its silver fur felt soft and warm, and Maya noticed that it sparkled with tiny points of light when she moved out in the medical bay. Maya placed the creature gently on an examination table. The alien looked around at all the medical equipment with obvious curiosity. When Maya turned on a scanner, the creature's fur suddenly became brighter, as if it was excited by the electronic device. "That's interesting," Maya said to herself. She had never seen an animal react to technology that way before. Dr. Ben Martinez, the ship's medical officer, came into the room carrying his coffee. He nearly dropped the cup when he saw the alien creature sitting on his examination table. "Maya, what is that thing?" Ben asked, staring at the creature with wide eyes. "Our mystery troublemaker," Maya replied, setting up her equipment to examine the alien's broken leg. "Can you help me? I think we need to be very gentle." The creature watched both humans carefully, but did not try to run away. Maya began her examination while Ben took notes. The alien's leg was definitely broken, but it was a clean break that would heal well with proper care. While Maya worked, Captain Morrison called a meeting with the senior crew. Chief Engineer Pete Collins arrived, looking angry. He had been dealing with damaged equipment for 2 weeks, and he wanted answers. "So this little pest is what's been causing all our problems?" Pete asked, pointing at the creature. "Do you know how many hours I've spent fixing things? It chewed through power cables in the engine room. It somehow got into the main computer and changed random settings. I say we put it in the airlock and solve our problem right now." The alien creature seemed to understand Pete's angry tone. It made soft whimpering sounds and moved closer to Maya, pressing against her arm. "Absolutely not," Maya said firmly. This creature was starving and hurt. It was just trying to survive. Lisa Harper crossed her arms. "Survive or not, It's still an alien life form that we know nothing about. It could be dangerous. It could be carrying diseases. We have protocols for situations like this. Captain Morrison nodded slowly. Lisa's right about the protocols, but Maya makes a good point too. The creature doesn't seem hostile. Maya finished putting a small cast on the alien's leg while the others talked. The creature watched her work with obvious intelligence. When she was done, it looked at the cast and then up at Maya, making soft purring sounds that seemed like gratitude. "Look at this," Maya said to the others. "It understands that I helped it. This isn't just an animal. This creature is highly intelligent." To prove her point, Maya picked up a medical tool that had fallen on the floor. The alien immediately leaned over and picked up another tool with its mouth, offering it to Maya. The crew members looked at each other in surprised communications. Officer Amy Chun had been quietly running scans with her equipment. "Captain, I'm getting some strange readings from the creature's location. There are energy patterns I've never seen before. They seem to be some kind of communication signals." The alien tilted its head toward Amy when she spoke, as if it could sense her electronic equipment. Its fur became brighter again, and Amy's instruments started beeping rapidly. "The signals are getting stronger," Amy reported. "It's like the creature is trying to communicate with our systems." Maya sat down next to the examination table, and the alien immediately moved to sit beside her. It was clearly more comfortable, near her than near the other humans. "What should we call it?" Maya asked. "We can't keep saying the creature all the time." Ben looked at the dark markings around the alien's eyes. "It looks like it's wearing a mask, like a bandit from old movies." "Bandit," Maya said, testing the name. The alien's ears perked up when she said it, and it made happy chittering sounds. "I think it likes that name." Over the next few days, Maya spent most of her time with Bandit. She discovered that the alien was incredibly smart. Bandit learned to understand simple human words very quickly. When Maya said food, Bandit would look toward the door. When she said water, Bandit would point to the sink with one of its front paws. Maya also solved the mystery of the missing food. She found Bandit's hiding place in the ventilation system. The alien had been stealing nutrient paste from the foam. Hydroponics Bay, the same paste used to feed the plants that made oxygen for the ship. Bandit had been eating plant food because it was the only thing available. "No wonder you were so thin," Maya told Bandit while giving it proper food. "That nutrient paste isn't made for creatures like you." Bandit ate the real food eagerly, making happy sounds between bites. Maya noticed that the alien's fur became even more sparkly when it was content and well fed. Pete Collins came to the medical bay to complain about more minor damage to ship systems. But when he saw Bandit sitting quietly next to Maya, playing with a small toy she had made from medical supplies, his anger faded a little. "I guess it's not trying to hurt anything," Pete admitted, "but it still needs to stay out of the engine room." Maya had an idea. What if we let Bandit help with repairs? It's very good with small tools, and it seems to understand how things work. Pete looked skeptical, but he was willing to try anything that might prevent more damage to his equipment. The next day, Pete brought some broken instruments to the medical bay. Bandit examined them carefully, using its small claws to point out exactly where the problems were. The alien's ability to sense electronic fields helped Pete find issues that his regular tools had missed. "This is incredible," Pete said, watching Bandit work. "It can sense electrical problems that I can't even detect." Amy Chun continued to monitor the strange energy signals coming from Bandit. She noticed that the signals were strongest when Maya was nearby. There seemed to be some kind of connection forming between the human woman and the alien creature. "Maya," Amy said one evening, "I think Bandit is bonding with you in some way. The energy patterns change when you're together. It's like you're communicating on a level we can't understand. Maya looked at Bandit, who was sleeping curled up next to her chair. The alien's fur glowed softly with a peaceful light. "I can feel it too," Maya admitted. "Sometimes I think I know what Bandit is. Feeling. And I think Bandit understands my emotions as well." Captain Morrison watched this development with interest and concern. Having an alien creature on the ship was complicated enough, but a psychic connection between the creature and one of his crew members could be even more complicated. Still, Maya seemed happier than she had been in months, and Bandit was clearly becoming a helpful member of the crew rather than a problem. Maybe this strange situation would work out after all. 3 weeks after Maya found Bandit, life on the Starbound had become much more peaceful. The small alien had healed quickly, and now followed Maya everywhere she went. Bandit's broken leg was completely better, and the creature moved through the ship with surprising grace on its 6 legs. Maya was in her laboratory studying some rock samples when Amy Chun's voice came over the ship's communication system. Amy sounded worried and excited at the same time. "Captain Morrison to the bridge immediately. All senior staff report to the bridge. We have contact." Maya looked at Bandit, who was sitting on her desk playing with a small puzzle toy she had made. The alien's fur suddenly lost its usual sparkle and became dull gray. Bandit made soft whimpering sounds and pressed close to Maya's arm. "What's wrong, little friend?" Maya asked, gently stroking Bandit's fur. She had learned to read the alien's moods through the changes in its fur color and brightness. Maya picked up Bandit and hurried to the bridge. When she arrived, she saw the entire senior crew staring at the main screen with expressions of shock and fear. Captain Morrison stood in the center of the bridge, his hands clenched behind his back. On the screen, Maya could see 3 enormous ships approaching the Starbound. The alien vessels were unlike anything she had ever seen or imagined. They were huge, at least 10 times the size of the Starbound, and they looked more grown than built. The ships had smooth, curved surfaces that seemed to pulse with their own light. They looked alive. "How long until they reach us?" Captain Morrison asked Amy. "At their current speed, about 20 minutes, Amy replied, checking her instruments. "Captain, these ships are moving faster than anything in our databases. Their technology is far beyond ours." Lisa Harper was already checking weapon systems. "Sir, should we prepare for combat?" "With what?" Pete Collins asked from his engineering station. "Those ships could probably destroy us without even slowing down." Maya watched the alien ships grow larger on the screen. Bandit was shaking in, her arms making sounds she had never heard before. The alien seemed terrified, but also excited, as if it recognized something about the approaching vessels. "Amy, are you detecting any communication signals?" Captain Morrison asked. "Yes, sir. Multiple signals on frequencies we've never encountered before. I can't understand any of it, but the signals are very complex. This is definitely intelligent." Communication. Ben Martinez looked at the medical readings on his portable scanner. "Captain, Bandit's vital signs are going crazy. Heart rate is way up, brain activity is through the roof. It's like the creature is having some kind of reaction to those ships." Maya felt a strange tingling in her mind, something she had never experienced before. The feeling seemed to be coming from Bandit, but it was affecting her too. Images flashed through her thoughts, pictures of vast spaces and stars and creatures that looked like Bandit, but much larger. "Maya, are you okay?" Dr. Martinez asked, noticing her confused expression. "I think Bandit is trying to tell me something," Maya said slowly. "I'm getting images in my head. I think those ships belong to Bandit's people." The 3 alien ships surrounded the Starbound in a perfect triangle formation. Up close, the ships were even more impressive and frightening. Maya could see that their surfaces were covered with what looked like crystalline fur, similar to bandits. But on a massive scale, Amy's instruments started beeping rapidly. "Captain, one of the ships is extending what looks like a docking tube. They want to board us." "Red alert," Captain Morrison announced. "All crew to battle stations. Prepare for boarding." But before anyone could move, a new voice came through. The ship's communication system. The voice was deep and powerful, and it spoke in perfect English. "Human vessel, you will allow us to board your ship immediately. You have something that belongs to us. You will return our lost kit without resistance, or we will take it by force." Captain Morrison stepped forward. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the Earth vessel Starbound. We are peaceful explorers. We have no intention of keeping anything that belongs to you." There was a moment of silence. Then the alien voice spoke again. "You have our youngling. We have tracked its distress calls across 3 star systems. Prepare to be boarded." Maya looked down at Bandit, who was making urgent chittering sounds. The alien's fur was now flickering between bright silver and dull gray, as if it couldn't decide whether to be happy or scared. "Captain," Maya said, "I think Bandit is their child. A lost child." The docking process happened faster than anyone expected. The alien boarding tube attached to the Starbound with a soft thudding sound, and within minutes, the visitors were aboard. Maya had expected aliens that looked like larger versions of Bandit, but she was not prepared for how impressive they actually were. The aliens stood about 7 feet tall on their hind legs, with the same crystalline fur and 6 limbs as Bandit. But these adult aliens moved with deadly grace and obvious intelligence. There were 5 aliens in the boarding party. They wore no clothing or equipment, but Maya could see that their fur was not just decorative. It crackled with energy, and she realized that the crystalline strands were some kind of advanced technology. The leader of the alien group was larger than the others, with fur that shifted through different colors as it moved. When it spoke, its voice came from a small device that appeared to grow from its chest. "I am Prime Shepherd Zexhai of the Void Hunter Pack. You will return our kit immediately." Bandit jumped from Maya's arms and ran toward the alien leader, making excited, chittering sounds. But instead of the happy reunion Maya expected, the adult alien looked down at Bandit with what seemed like disappointment. The alien leader spoke in its own language to Bandit, a series of complex sounds that were nothing like Bandit's simple chittering. Bandit responded, but its sounds seemed weak and uncertain compared to the adult's powerful voice. "The kit has been contaminated," Prime Shepherd Zexhai announced, looking directly at Maya. "It shows submission behavior to an alien species. This is unacceptable." Captain Morrison stepped forward carefully. "Sir, we found your child injured and starving. We helped it heal. We meant no harm." The alien leader's fur shifted to a dangerous red color. "You have interfered with our youngling's development. This cannot be ignored." Other crew members started to reach for their weapons, but Maya stepped between them and the aliens. "Please wait. Let me explain what happened." Prime Shepherd Zexhai focused his attention on Maya. His large eyes were the same bright blue as Bandit's, but they held an intelligence that was both fascinating and terrifying. "You will speak human female, but know that your words will determine whether your species lives or dies this day." Maya felt the weight of that threat, but she also felt something else. Through her connection with Bandit, she sensed curiosity from the alien leader. These creatures were dangerous, but they were also intelligent enough to listen before they acted. The fate of everyone on the Starbound, and possibly all of humanity, now depended on Maya's ability to explain human compassion to a species that had never experienced it before. Maya took a deep breath and looked directly at Prime Shepherd Zexhai. The alien leader's crystalline fur was still glowing red with anger, and the other pack members had spread out around the bridge in threatening positions. Captain Morrison and his crew stood tense and ready for a fight they could not possibly win. 3 weeks ago, I found Bandit trapped in our ship's maintenance systems, Maya began, speaking slowly and clearly. The child was hurt and starving. Its leg was broken, and it had been eating plant food because there was nothing else available. Prime Shepherd Zex-High's translator device made clicking sounds as it processed Maya's words. The kit was injured? How did this happen? Maya knelt down beside Bandit, who looked confused and scared by all the tension around it. I don't know how Bandit got on our ship. Maybe it was exploring and got lost. When I found it, the child was in pain and afraid. The alien leader's fur shifted from red to a darker color that Maya could not identify. Continue your explanation, human. I could have called security, Maya said, gently touching Bandit's head. I could have treated it like a dangerous intruder, but it was just a hurt child, so I helped it heal. I fed it proper food. I made sure it was safe and comfortable. The other pack members made sounds that seemed like surprise. They spoke to each other in their complex language, and Maya caught the tone of confusion in their voices. Prime Shepherd Zex-High stepped closer to Maya and Bandit. You claim you helped our kit without seeking benefit for yourself? This makes no sense. Why would you waste resources on a creature that could not help you in return? Maya looked up at the towering alien, because that's what humans do. We help those who need help, especially children. It doesn't matter if they're human or not. Lisa Harper, who had been listening quietly, suddenly became alarmed. She noticed that 2 of the pack members had moved to block the exit from the bridge. Their claws were extended, and their fur was crackling with dangerous energy. Captain, Lisa whispered urgently, they're surrounding us. Lisa's movement toward her weapon was small, but the aliens saw it immediately. The pack members responded. Instantly, their fur blazing bright red as they prepared to attack. Prime Shepherd Zex-High snarled, showing teeth that could easily tear through metal. You threaten us while claiming peaceful intentions. The alien leader roared. The situation exploded into chaos. Lisa drew her sidearm, which caused Pete Collins to reach for his tool belt where he kept a plasma cutter. Amy Chun moved toward the emergency alarm, and Captain Morrison put his hand on his weapon. The pack responded by surrounding the humans completely. Their claws extended to full length, crackling with the same energy that flowed through their fur. Maya realized that these were not just claws, but some kind of advanced weapons that could probably cut through anything on the ship, got in the middle of all this threatening posturing. Bandit suddenly cried out in distress. The small alien jumped between the 2 groups, chittering frantically and limping on its recently healed leg as it tried to get everyone's attention. Stop, Maya shouted, moving to stand beside Bandit. Everyone just stop. But the damage was already done. Prime Shepherd Zex-High's fur was blazing with fury, and his pack members were ready to attack. Captain Morrison and his crew were outnumbered and outgunned, but they were not going to surrender without a fight. Maya did the only thing she could think of. She knelt down beside Bandit and began examining the alien's leg, just as she had done when they first met 3 weeks ago. Ouch! That must hurt, you mischievous creature, Maya said in the same gentle voice she had used before. It looks like you hurt your paws. Bandit immediately calmed down and nuzzled against Maya's hand. The small alien made soft purring sounds and settled into the same trusting position it had taken during that first encounter. The effect on the pack was immediate and shocking. All 5 adult aliens stopped their threatening behavior and stared at Maya and Bandit with expressions of complete amazement. Prime Shepherd Zex-High's fur shifted through several colors before settling on a pale blue that seemed to indicate confusion. This behavior is impossible, he said through his translator. Our young are independent predators. They do not show submission to any creature, especially not to an alien species. Maya continued to gently stroke Bandit's fur while she spoke. Bandit trusts me because I helped when no one else could. I didn't try to control or dominate. I just showed kindness. The pack leader approached slowly, his weapons retracted and his threatening posture relaxed. He studied Maya and Bandit with the intense curiosity of a scientist observing something that challenged everything he thought he knew. The kit displays comfort submission to you, Prime Shepherd Zexhai said. In wonder, in all our generations of existence, we have never seen this behavior directed toward another species. How did you achieve this impossible thing? Maya looked up at the alien leader while still stroking Bandit's fur. I didn't try to achieve anything. I just treated Bandit with respect and care. When someone is hurt and scared, sometimes kindness is the most powerful thing you can offer. Captain Morrison slowly lowered his hand from his weapon. The immediate danger seemed to have passed, but he could see that this conversation was far from over. One of the other pack members, smaller than the leader, but with more colorful fur, stepped forward. Prime Shepherd, the human female, speaks. Of concepts we do not understand. What is this kindness behavior? Prime Shepherd Zexhai's translator worked for several seconds before responding. I believe the closest translation would be mercy-giving without expectation of return. But this behavior makes no evolutionary sense. It should not exist. Maya stood up, still keeping one hand on Bandit's head. Maybe it doesn't make sense to you, but it makes sense to us. We believe that helping others makes everyone stronger, even if we don't get anything back immediately. The alien leader studied Maya with those piercing blue eyes. You chose to heal our kid instead of using it as a hostage. You fed it your own resources. You gave it comfort when it was afraid. And you gained nothing except the trust of a small predator that could not defend you or provide for you. That's right, Maya said simply. Prime Shepherd Zexhai's fur shifted to a new color, a soft green that seemed to indicate deep thought. Your species exhibits behavior that our scientists would consider impossible. You show mercy to those who cannot benefit you. You protect those who cannot protect you in return. He paused, looking around at the human crew members who were still tense but no longer actively threatening. We have encountered many species in our travels across the void. All of them have shown predictable behavior patterns. Aggression, fear, greed, self-preservation. But you display something we have never seen before. Maya felt a strange sensation in her mind, the same tingling she had experienced when the alien ships first arrived. But now it felt less frightening and more like curiosity. What do you call this behavior pattern? Prime Shepherd Zexhai asked. Maya thought for a moment, trying to find the right words to explain something that seemed so natural to her. We call it humanity, she said finally. It's what makes us who we are. Prime Shepherd Zexhai made a sound that Maya's translator couldn't interpret. The alien leader's fur had changed to a bright gold color, and the other pack members gathered around him. They spoke in their complex language for several minutes, while the human crew waited nervously. Finally, the alien leader turned back to Maya and Captain Morrison. We will not harm your crew, he announced. Your demonstration of this humanity behavior has created what you might call curiosity in our pack minds. Captain Morrison stepped forward carefully. Thank you. We appreciate your restraint. Perhaps we can talk and learn from each other. Learn, Prime Shepherd Zexhai repeated, as if testing the word. Yes, we have decided to study your species before making final decisions about your fate. Over the next few days, the Starbound became a place of careful cultural exchange. The alien pack brought their own translator devices and set up a temporary living space in the ship's largest cargo bay. Their technology was so advanced that they could modify the room's atmosphere and gravity to meet their needs without affecting the rest of the ship. Maya found herself serving as the main contact between the two species. Her bond with Bandit made her the most trusted human in the aliens' eyes. She spent hours each day answering questions about human behavior and society. The pack members were called Zephyrians, and they had been traveling through space for thousands of years. They lived in family groups called packs, and each pack traveled independently in their living ships. Maya learned that their ships were not built but grown, using a combination of biology and technology that humans could barely understand. Prime Shepherd Zexhai explained that the Zephyrians were nomadic hunters who followed great migrations of space-dwelling creatures across the galaxy. They had never stayed in one place long enough to build permanent cities or governments. Their entire culture was based on movement, hunting, and survival. "We have encountered hundreds of species during our travels," the alien leader told Maya during one of their daily conversations. "Most are weak and easily conquered. Some are strong enough to fight us, but they all follow predictable patterns. They want our technology, our resources, or our territory. They act only for their own benefit." Maya was sitting in the cargo bay with Bandit curled up in her lap. The small alien had become a bridge between the two species, equally comfortable, with both humans and Zephyrians. "But you humans confuse us," Zexhai continued. "You helped our kit when it could offer you nothing in return. You risked your lives to defend a creature that was not even your own species. This behavior does not match any patterns we have observed before." Pete Collins had been spending time with the Zephyrian engineers, learning about their biomechanical technology. His initial anger toward Bandit had completely disappeared once he saw how intelligent and helpful the small alien could be. "Maya, you have to see this," Pete called from across the cargo bay. He was working with two of the pack members to repair some equipment that Bandit had damaged weeks earlier. Their ships don't just have computers. The entire ship is alive and intelligent. It can heal itself, grow new parts, and even evolve to meet new challenges. The Zephyrian engineer, whose name sounded like musical tones that the human translators couldn't reproduce, gestured toward their ship with obvious pride. "Our vessels are partners, not tools. They live as we live, think as we think. Together we are stronger than either could be alone." Pete looked amazed. "How long does it take to grow a ship like that?" 50 to 60 of your years, the alien engineer replied. "But once mature, a ship can live for thousands of years. Our ship has been with our pack for over 2,000 years. It knows us better than we know ourselves." Amy Chun had been studying the Zephyrians' communication methods. She discovered that their language was not just sounds, but also involved changes in their fur color and patterns, electromagnetic signals, and even psychic connections between pack members. "They don't just talk to each other," Amy explained to Captain Morrison. "They share thoughts and emotions directly. That's why they're so confused by human behavior. They can't understand how we can care about others without a psychic connection." Dr. Martinez had been examining Bandit's healing progress and studying Zephyrian biology. "Their medical knowledge is incredible," he told Maya. "They don't use external tools or medicines. Their bodies can heal almost any injury by changing their cellular structure. But they've never seen anything like the emotional healing that happened between you and Bandit." Meanwhile, Maya was learning about Zephyrian society and culture. She discovered that the pack was not just a family group, but a complete survival unit. Each member had specific roles and responsibilities, and they all worked together with perfect coordination. "We are one mind in many bodies," Zexhai explained. "When one pack member feels pain, we all feel it. When one discovers danger, we all know instantly. This connection makes us strong, but it also makes it difficult for us to understand individual kindness." Maya found this fascinating. "So when I helped Bandit, You couldn't understand why I would do that for someone outside my pack? Exactly, the alien leader confirmed. In our culture, you help your pack because their survival is your survival. But you helped our kit with no connection to your own survival. This suggests either great wisdom or great foolishness, and we cannot determine which. Bandit had been growing stronger and more confident during the cultural exchange. The small alien served as a translator and guide, helping both species understand each other. Maya noticed that Bandit's intelligence seemed to be developing faster than before, as if contact with both humans and Zephyrians was accelerating its growth. One evening, while Maya was teaching Bandit to play a simple human game, HFY approached them with obvious concern in his posture. "Human Maya, we must discuss something important," the alien leader said. "We have been observing the bond between you and our kit. This connection is unlike anything in our experience or our history." Maya looked up from the game. "What do you mean?" "Our young do not form emotional attachments to other species. They are born predators, independent and self-sufficient. But our kit has developed what we can only call love for you and your pack. This has never happened before." Maya felt a warm sensation in her mind, the same feeling she had come to associate with Bandit's contentment. "Is that a problem?" HFY's fur shifted through several colors before settling on a deep blue. "We do not know, but we have detected something else that concerns us greatly. The kit's psychic development has accelerated far beyond normal parameters. Its mental abilities are growing stronger every day." Maya looked at Bandit, who was watching the conversation with obvious intelligence. "Stronger how?" "The kit can now communicate directly with our ship's consciousness," HFY explained. "It can sense electromagnetic fields across great distances. And most remarkably, it seems to be developing the ability to share its emotional experiences with others." The alien leader paused, studying Maya with those intense blue eyes. "We believe the kit is becoming something new, something that has never existed before. A bridge between species. And we believe this transformation is connected to your human concept of kindness." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. "What does that mean for Bandit? What does it mean for all of us?" Before HFY could answer, alarms began sounding throughout the ship. Amy Chun's voice came over the communication system, filled with urgency and fear. "Captain Morrison to the bridge immediately. All hands to emergency stations. We're detecting massive gravitational distortions approaching our position. Something very large is coming, and it's coming fast." Maya rushed to the bridge with Bandit close behind her. Prime Shepherd HFY and 2 other pack members followed them, moving with the deadly grace that made them such feared hunters. When they arrived at the bridge, everyone was staring at the main screen in horror. Out the space around the starbound was twisting and bending in ways that hurt to look at. Reality itself seemed to be breaking apart, creating dark wounds in the fabric of space. Through these wounds, Maya could see something that made her heart freeze with terror. "What are those things?" Captain Morrison asked, his voice barely above. A whisper. On the screen, massive shapes moved through the tiers in space. They looked like enormous jellyfish made of pure darkness, each one larger than a city. Where they touched normal space, stars went out. Planets crumbled to dust. Everything that had existed simply stopped existing. "The silent devouring," Prime Shepherd HFY said, his translator device struggling with the complex emotions in his voice. "We had hoped they would not reach this sector for many more years." Amy Chun's instruments were going crazy, showing readings that made no scientific sense. "Captain, these entities are consuming matter and energy at the quantum level. They're literally eating reality itself." Pete Collins checked his engineering displays with growing panic. "Our engines won't work in this distorted space. We're trapped." Maya felt Bandit pressing against her leg, and suddenly Her mind was filled with images and sensations that weren't her own. She saw vast fleets of Zephyrian ships fleeing across the galaxy. She felt the desperation of entire civilizations as they watched their worlds disappear into nothingness. "How long have you been running from these things?" Maya asked Zex-Hi. 300 years, the alien leader replied. "The silent devouring started at the edge of our galaxy and has been spreading inward ever since. Billions of beings have already been consumed. We estimate that all life in the galaxy will be extinct within 50 years. Dr. Martinez was monitoring Bandit's vital signs and noticed something strange. Maya, look at this. Bandit's brain activity is spiking beyond anything we've recorded before." Maya knelt down beside Bandit, and the small alien immediately climbed into her arms. As soon as they touched, Maya's mind exploded with new sensations. She could suddenly sense the thoughts and emotions of everyone on the bridge, both human and Zephyrian. But more than that, she could feel something vast and ancient, calling to her from deep space. "There's something out there," Maya said, her voice filled with wonder and confusion. "Something old and powerful. It's trying to communicate." Prime Shepherd Zex-Hi's fur blazed with sudden hope. "The Nexus Worlds? You can sense the Nexus Worlds." "Captain." Morrison looked between Maya and the alien leader. "What are the Nexus Worlds?" "Ancient legend speaks of a cluster of planets at the galactic core," Zex-Hi explained quickly. "These worlds supposedly contain technology left behind by the first civilization in the galaxy. Technology powerful enough to stop the silent devouring." Pete Collins looked skeptical. "If this technology exists, why hasn't someone used it already?" "Because no one has ever been able to find the Nexus Worlds," Zex-Hi replied. "The legends say they can only be located by a mind that bridges multiple species, a consciousness that understands both individual thought and pack unity." Maya felt the strange tingling in her mind growing stronger. Through her connection with Bandit, she could sense patterns in space that had nothing to do with normal physics. She could feel the locations of distant stars and the flow of energy between galaxies. "I can see them," Maya whispered, amazed by her own words. "I can see the path to the Nexus Worlds." Amy Chun suddenly shouted a warning. "Captain, the entities are moving toward us. We have maybe 10 minutes before they reach our position." The bridge filled with desperate energy as everyone tried to think of solutions. But Maya was no longer listening to the panic around her. Her consciousness was expanding, flowing through the psychic connection she shared with Bandit and extending to touch the minds of the Zephyrian pack. For the first time, Maya truly understood how the aliens thought and felt. She experienced the unity of pack consciousness, where individual thoughts became part of a greater whole. But she also retained her human sense of individual compassion and the desire to help others. "Zex-Hi," Maya said, standing up with Bandit still in her arms. "Your pack has been searching for the Nexus Worlds for generations. My species has been searching for purpose among the stars. What if we were meant to find each other?" The alien leader's fur shifted to a brilliant white color that Maya had never seen before. "You propose a true alliance?" "Human individual compassion combined with Zephyrian pack unity." "More than an alliance," Maya replied, feeling the rightness of her words. "A new kind of consciousness. Bandit isn't just bonded to me anymore. Through our connection, Bandit is bonded to all of humanity and all of your pack." Captain Morrison understood immediately. "You're talking about combining our crews permanently, sharing thoughts and abilities across species." "It's the only way," Maya said, watching the dark entities grow closer on the screen. "Alone, neither of our species is strong enough to find the Nexus Worlds and stop the silent devouring. But together, we might have a chance." Prime Shepherd Zex-Hi looked at his pack members, and Maya could sense their silent communication through her enhanced connection with Bandit. The aliens were afraid, but they were also filled with a hope they had not felt in centuries. "We accept." This bond, Zexhai announced, let our packs become one. What happened next was unlike anything anyone had ever experienced. The psychic connection that had started between Maya and Bandit suddenly expanded to include every human and Zephyrian in the area. Maya felt her consciousness merge with 40 human minds and 5 alien ones, creating something entirely new. Through this combined awareness, the location of the Nexus worlds became crystal clear. Maya could see them as if they were right in front of her. 3 ancient planets orbiting a star at the exact center of the galaxy. "Pete, can you plot a course?" Captain Morrison asked, his voice filled with wonder at the new sensations he was experiencing. "Already on it," Pete replied, his engineering knowledge now enhanced by Zephyrian understanding of biomechanical systems. "But we'll need to travel through dimensions we've never accessed before." Amy Chun's communication skills had merged with Zephyrian psychic abilities, allowing her to coordinate both crews with perfect efficiency. "Captain, the Zephyrian ship is ready to link with the Starbound. Together, we'll be fast enough to outrun the entities." The next few hours were a blur of incredible technological achievement. The 2 ships merged into a single hybrid vessel. That was part human engineering and part living Zephyrian biotechnology. The combined crew worked with perfect coordination, their shared consciousness making them more efficient than either species had ever been alone. As they traveled toward the galactic core, Maya stood in the observation area with Bandit beside her. The small alien had grown during the bonding process, not physically but mentally. Bandit was now a true bridge between species, able to communicate complex ideas and emotions to both humans and Zephyrians. "Do you think we'll succeed?" Maya asked, speaking to both Bandit and the shared consciousness that now included all of their friends and allies. The answer came not in words, but in a feeling of absolute determination shared by every member of their new combined pack. They would find the Nexus worlds. They would stop the silent devouring. And they would do it together. Maya gently scratched behind Bandit's crystalline ears, just as she had done when they first met. The small alien purred contentedly, its fur glowing with the warm light of happiness and hope. "Thank you, little friend," Maya whispered. "Thank you for showing us that kindness can change everything." Through the observation window, the stars of the galactic core grew brighter as their hybrid ship raced toward humanity's greatest challenge and greatest opportunity. The journey that had started with a simple act of compassion toward an injured creature was about to determine the fate of all life in the galaxy.